Welcome to Tales from Behind the Veil. I'm Patrice Catan, and I'm an expert in the fashion, bridal, and event planning industry for over 40 years.
And I'm Leah Haslage, Patrice's producer and sidekick. On this episode, we have Barbie Berg, creative director for the Modest Bridal collection by Barbie, who sat down with Patrice at the National Bridal Market in Chicago to discuss what it means to be a modest bride, the latest collections, and more.
Hi.
Hi!
And where did we find you?
So I'm Barbie, and I have a line called the Modest Bridal Collection by Barbie. And then I just started a new line called Barbie and Bridal. And we met years ago through Mon Cherie, because I used to work for them. And then now I'm off on my own. And when you walked by, I was like, I know her, the legend, in person. It's true.
I think a legend means age.
No.
No, I'm joking. But it kind of, well, it is age. I mean, when you're a legend, you're very well known, but there's an age process that creates that, but that's good.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, not a bad thing at all.
No. She is well known in the industry.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
And I've been around a long time. And I'm very interested in the Modest collection.
Okay.
Because I think there is an extreme need for that in many different areas.
It is.
And I'd like you to explain to me how
Sure.
you ended up getting into that
Yeah.
and what you've gone forward with.
Yeah, so I wasn't ever actually a designer or anything before this. I was in accounting for years, and then I moved to Utah, and I just loved bridal just as for fun. And so I started working for a store, and I realized like there's just such a big need for it, because for years all we could find, so I'm Mormon and most of my clientele is Mormon, and mostly all they could find was it just looked like a t-shirt on a skirt, and it was horrible.
I remember that.
You remember.
I do remember it. It was horrible.
It was.
She's correct.
And there was only like 3 dresses for girls to choose from. And to this day, I still see girls putting t-shirts underneath strapless dresses because they don't know there's Modest out there, and it makes me...
And why is that? And how can we help you with that?
You know, I really just don't. I think a lot of people are like, well, it's hard for me to find clothing, so why would it be easy to find this Modest stuff? But it's really just Google. You just Google it, you can find things. But so my goal was when I started designing was I was like, I just want to design pretty dresses that happen to be modest. That's not the focus that they're modest. Because then people started doing it, they were just ugly, in my opinion.
Yeah, but there is a lot of people, no matter what religion they're under,
Absolutely.
that really wants a dress that gives them a little bit more coverage. And there's nothing wrong with that. Society today goes way to the other spectrum.
Yeah.
Almost to the point of not realistic styling in some versions for a bride walking down the aisle in a church. But everybody has their own ideas, and we have to respect that.
Yeah.
But everybody has to respect us for our feeling that a bride is special, and modesty in some degree is very important.
Absolutely.
And how do we attain that?
Yeah.
So how did you start this picture?
Yeah, so it really was, because modesty is different for everyone. Like, you know, we have some people that really need it all the way up to the neck, they need it down to the wrist. My clientele was really more just covering the cleavage, covering the shoulders, but they could wear short sleeve. But now I've started kind of expanding into long sleeves, just because that seems to be what everyone likes. And it just kind of evolved from there, and now it's been really interesting this last market, because we've had so many stores stop and say, I don't have religious girls, I just have girls who want to be more covered, because I call it the naked bride trend, where we've talked about, I hate it, and I'm like, there was literally a dress I saw on Instagram the other day, and you could see her nipples through her dress.
That's just great. That's art. I don't know what to tell you. It's pure art.
It's a beautiful dress. I don't want my grandma to hug me where my nipple is showing.
Absolutely not.
No.
But
And so, yeah.
we do have a trend.
Yeah.
And I do think in time it will go away, like other fast trends. But in the meantime, we also have a right to our own ideas and our own versions of a respectable bride.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, because I think when people hear like, oh, respectable, they want us to be like completely covered. That's not the case.
Well, then you can't breathe.
No.
So that's not going to work. So basically what you need to do is give a little twist to a wedding gown that is very formal, but at the end of the day, gives you what you want in a modest style and very fashionable for the date and time that you are getting married.
Yep.
Correct?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
what's your famous style?
Oh goodness, I have a lot of very fitted dresses. That seems to be the most popular right now. Is I have a dress called Courtney. She's one of my best sellers. She's fitted all the way down, but then she has a chiffon bishop sleeve. And I joke because where I'm at, they don't show skin, but they're going to show every curve they possibly can, so they like them tight.
See, they always get a way to go in reverse, no matter who they are.
Yeah.
So you have curves, but no skin.
No skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good exchange.
It is.
I think that's great. Yeah. I think that relaxes the girl, that she's not looking like a frump.
No.
But she's also getting a little bit what she wants.
Exactly. Exactly.
So how were you at market? How was market this year? What's your opinion with the country the way it is today and inflation? How is this all faring in your business?
My business is doing well. It's definitely growing because, like I said, the pendulum has gone too far on the naked bride trend, so they're starting to come back. But I've been nervous because, you know, with inflation and with the economy the way it is, like, our bride's going to be willing to spend money. And it seems like they're either, I want to dress $500 or $2,000 and up is fine.
Correct.
Yeah.
And really, we found that over the years. I think that started back about 10 years ago. And why that happened, you got to remember when I started in 1980, when the only wedding gowns truly manufactured is what you saw in New York City.
Absolutely.
There was none of all this overmass of manufacturers.
No.
And therefore, it was a different era. And all of a sudden, the manufacturers quadrupled, and your clients needed more attention when they came in the store. It was a timely process, mainly because they saw so much, they wanted to try on so much.
Yes.
And how do we not confuse them? And what's your view on that?
You know, I think the big thing is training stylists to be able to narrow down quickly. Like, if a bride thinks she wants something and you know it's not going to be hers, don't let her try on every single fitted dress in the store if you know in your heart, this girl's in an A-line, this girl's in a ball gown. But if you have a stylist that can't kind of control the appointment, in my opinion, and guide her very subtly into what you know she's going to love, you're just going to waste so much time. But the other thing that I keep hearing is, it seems like no matter what they can do, we're having a lot of brides all across the country that they're on the pedestal, they're crying, they're having their moment. We're getting ready to write an invoice and the girl says, okay, I have a few more appointments, I've got to go. And it's like, you just had your moment. But they want to keep trying and they want to keep trying. And so you have to find this balance right now, and that's what I would love opinions on.
Well, I think this is where I come into play in a lot of areas, and this is why I am doing what I'm doing today, basically because I'm selfish. I love the bridal business. I love to be involved. I retired from the retail division, and I want to share my knowledge with everybody of all the things that I went through, all the years I was in business. And I got to truly tell you, in the beginning, I thought a truck hit me because I was in crafts and then I went to bridal. And I went because I was creative, but crafts was a totally different venue. And all of a sudden, I'm on 37th Street, and I'm looking for manufacturers that are going to sell to me, because in those days the doors were closed. you had to prove your way to be able to sell the line. And you had to make sure that they approved of you, your store, and as a business person. So basically, as time goes on, I think one of the interesting things we're really trying to zone in on is training the consultants.
Yeah.
Now, as trained as I am, girls did do this to me. They would walk up.
Yeah.
And a lot of the problem is Instagram.
100%.
And everything that's on there that lures them for another session, another session, another session. The only way you can win the largest portion of the revenue is you have to become a friend to them.
Yeah.
And you can't be pushy, you need to be very informative, and you also need to remind them that going down this process, you must be with many people that are trustworthy. And you might go in a salon or online and buy a gown and get it in a box and realize it doesn't look like the picture said. Okay, now what are you going to do? And consequently, you're going to go back where you started.
Yeah.
So the only way you can really remedy that is make sure in your buying that you're buying different styles.
Yes.
Because the styling is extremely important. So you have something for everybody. But you see, ever since the internet came in, it's a major concern in retail today because sales are a lot harder.
So much
and
harder.
you might get repeat down the road from the girl that leaves, and you might not. And it could be a high-pressured salesman that sells them a dress, and all of a sudden they're sorry they bought it and they can't get their money back.
That's right.
And that's happening a lot and a lot and a lot. The other thing I think today, I didn't do it, I was against it, but I would not be against it if I was open today, is charge for the appointment.
I've been so torn on that. I don't have a store.
I am torn on, I'm still torn, but it's going to be mandated.
Yeah.
And it's whether it's $25 or $50, there's a lot of labor in this. Now, they can have it back if they buy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't tie up a stylist 3 times in a row, 2 hours at a time, and buy a dress somewhere else. There's got to be a stopping point. And where is this going to be created? So I almost think it's come to that because of the internet, and that's very sad.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I agree.
Now, what are your stores saying nationwide?
You know, where we're at, so where I'm at, especially with Modesty, they have very short timelines, like anywhere between 4 weeks and 3 months. 3 months is about the longest you're gonna see for a lot of these brides.
Okay.
So with
well,
that,
that's a different scenario.
It is, but they're still going to multiple stores and saying, oh, I wanna keep looking, even though I found this. So I do have some stores that have started charging for appointments, and some it's worked for, and some it's completely backfired for. But I think you're right. I really think it's going to start going that direction because you're right. How are stores going to be able to pay their bills when you're tying up all of their stylists and they're not making a penny for it?
And that can happen.
Yeah.
You can be the best of the best and it happens. Now, years ago it didn't happen because of the fact that you didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
But now, it's monumental. They take all these pictures, they go online, and they decide they're going to buy something for $99 online. And when they get it, it's a piece of garbage.
Yep.
But how do you train them? You know, people think you come in a salon or in any business and they think, oh, these people have a large business, they're rolling in it. They're not rolling in nothing. Bridal business is a very high-powered, very tedious service business.
Yes.
Your money is in the service. You can't afford to be shopped day in and day out and not get a sale. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that helps, and you'll agree with me, is building their name.
Absolutely.
You have to build your reputation. And the only way is by good consultants that are building it with you and saying the same thing that the owner is saying.
Yeah.
Extremely important.
Absolutely.
Do you have any problems in your industry with shipping on time or?
You know, I'm lucky because I'm one of the people that partnered directly with my factory, so they only do mine and one other small line.
Got it.
Therefore, I don't have any issues. So it's been amazing. But I hear from everybody else, everything's delayed. I mean, we even got shut down for 4 weeks in December for COVID.
Oh, yes.
They did. They shut everything down. And we were able to bounce back quicker than I expected, but we're very lucky that way. Everyone else I hear is just delay after delay after delay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the dresses now are 12 to 6, well, no, 16 to 20 weeks.
Yes.
16 to 20, believe this or not, 16 to 20 weeks. And it used to be 12 weeks, maybe 8,
Yeah.
with a rush. And even at the 20 weeks, there's a big question mark that maybe they're short of material.
Yeah.
And it didn't come in, and they oversold that particular style. So the climate today makes you change the climate of how you operate a salon. And that is what is so very important today. You can't take anything for granted.
It's true.
What do you think is your biggest success?
My biggest success is knowing my bride. That has been the key. Having my niche, knowing, because I'm Mormon, I understand what girls need. I understand what religious girls need. And so many of them were going to stores that didn't understand it. So by me being behind it as the designer and saying, I know exactly what you're going through. I train my stores. I train the consultants.
But that's excellent.
And that's not heard of anymore. And I didn't realize that wasn't a standard thing. And so, but I think by designers actually being so much more than just a trunk show, like be in touch with your stores, be in touch with your stylists.
Well, it's funny you say that because that is the real reason why I found this as a great niche market, because there is not enough of education.
Yeah.
And everybody is in a mode that if they're a manufacturer, they're zeroed in on selling because they need to.
Yeah.
And the stores are zeroed in on selling the product they purchase. And we kind of flip over the word education and just go with it.
Yeah.
And with the labor problem today, longevity is the best. I was very fortunate. My employees were with me 25 years or more. In today's market, it doesn't happen. I mean, they're in one day, out 10 days later.
Yeah.
Or you call a bridal salon that you've worked with, that's you have a client with, and they tell me, no, I can't give you an answer. I have to wait till so-and-so comes in. You can't do that in the bridal business. 30 seconds is all you have.
That's it.
Figure it out. And you agree with me.
100%. It's one of the things that I actually do for my stores is I go and I meet the staff and I give each of them my card and I say, this is my cell phone number. You call me and you text me on Saturdays, because if that bride walks out the door because you can't get an answer till Monday, they're gone. You'll never see them again.
Absolutely correct.
You'll never see them again.
This is where on-hand owners are very important, especially today. We need to see the pulse of the market, and we need to be available to take care of everybody.
Absolutely.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, just you're fantastic. And I love hearing that it's also nice for my stores to know that it's not just them. So many of them in the last year have been like, it's just me, I'm the only one struggling. No.
No.
It's everyone.
It's everyone, trust me.
Yeah.
I don't care how large you are or how small.
Nope.
You are going to struggle in this market. And internet is playing the major role.
Yeah.
So how do we combat that? Well, you have to be educated.
Yes.
That's all I got to say. Education, education, education. Well, it was very nice meeting you. I hope we do this again.
Absolutely, anytime.
This has been a production of Evergreen Podcasts. A special thank you to the staff at National Bridal Market in Chicago, senior producer Leah Haslage, that's me, and Dave Douglas and Kay Holmberg for audio and video production.